Okay, everyone, welcome to Mortgage Coaches Training Thursday, this time with audio. My name is Lori Lytle, and today what we're going to do is focus a little bit on Rate Watch. But before we dive a little bit more into Training Thursday, for those who are new to the call, this call is a Q&A call. So anytime you have questions, please open up the question area and go to meeting, and please let me know, and we'll stop along the way. If I have to go back, I'll go back to a previous topic and answer that question. So please let me know where your questions are. So today, as I had mentioned, what we're going to do is go through Rate Watch first. So we're with the rates, the feds did not raise the rates yesterday, so we have a little bit more lower rates now. So I want to be able to show you how you can use that Rate Watch and be able to monitor those mortgage-backed security rates. We'll also go through this and be able to see what other items you have within Rate Watch. You'll be able to have alerts, check out commentary, things like that. So we'll focus on Rate Watch. Then after Rate Watch, we're going to dive into the mobile app. I'm going to show you how you'll be able to work Edge Live with the mobile app, as well as record video, things like that. And then lastly, what we'll roll into is creating a refinance presentation. So those are the three topics we're going to talk about: Rate Watch, mobile app, and then we'll develop a refinance strategy. So again, open up your question area. Let me know where you're from, what company, what state. It helps me addressing questions for enterprise accounts as well as different, talk about fees for different states. So open the question area and go to webinar. Let me know what company you're from and what state you're from, and that would help me out a lot. So what we have here, you can see that I have two Rate Watch displays on my screen. The one on the left, I'm using my iPad. The one on the right is my Android phone. So this way it gives you a view of using an Android as well as an iOS device through the iPad. So you can see where I'm at here. I'm on my home screen of Rate Watch. Thank you, Lewis. So you'll be able to see the current activities, how the rates are moving today. So you can see today's rate is right here. You can see on both. We all have the opening and the close. We'll be able to mark it, how much the rate has moved. You can see with the tail, it's already popped up a little higher and it's come down. So green also shows that it's a favorable movement, where you can see how we have some candlesticks that are in red. That means that the rates are not going in the right direction. So what we were going to do here, if you want more details, we have some great literature. If you email us at support@mortgagecoach.com, we'll be able to provide you some more information on how to really read these candlestick charts. So with that, we always work from the opening bell. Some mortgage-backed security software starts from the previous night. So we're actually capturing the day's rates changing. So I wanted to point that out. Let me get my Android back up. So now what I want to do is, you can see in the upper left-hand corner, that's where we're going to go ahead and dive into the different options. So if you have not downloaded the mobile app, go to your app store, do a search for Rate Watch, and you'll be able to download this app. And if you do have the app downloaded, please open it up and follow along with me. We're going to be sharing screens, so you'll be able to participate in that aspect as well. So you can see I'm on the home screen. So if I click on home screen, it'll give us how the movements are. Want to point out, on the iOS versions, you have a share button. So with that, you could click on that and you would be able to share that information and that advice with your realtor partners or with borrowers, showing how those rates are moving. You can email them, send a text. If you have a Facebook account, want to show all your clients, the rates, how they're moving, you could copy it to clipboard. On an Android device, you'll see it with those three dots in the upper right-hand corner. When you go to that, you'll be able to go ahead and share that way. So with that, now let's go back to the home screen of Rate Watch, and let's go to the next screen. So let's see how the rate is moving today. So you can see how from opening bell how the rates have gone. You can see how we sent out an alert. It looks just before 8 o'clock when the rates had reached that mark. Whoops. Let's see. There we go with the Android. So we'll do this throughout the day until the day of close. Anytime there is an alert, I'll show you shortly how you'll be able to receive those through a text or an email format. So you'll always be current. You'll know when the rates have bumped and be able to receive those alerts through the text. So let's go back to the home screen and let's go to those alerts. Since we had one, it shows that information. This information also could be sent to you directly on the text, but having that mobile app, you'll be able to see the alerts. They'll come through, alert you through the Rate Watch app, and you can always go back and refer to those. Now you can also, besides Rate Watch, you can also see your Edge views. So with that, you can see I haven't updated on my mobile app, but you have the views of the different reports that have closed. What you can always do, or the borrowers have viewed your reports. So with that, you can always go ahead and get those alerts, and again, you could trigger that to I'm sorry, I was trying to close something out. It's not working. I wanted to show how the alert would pop through. So what would happen if a presentation was closed? You're going to get an email alert, and it will also go ahead and be placed here. These email alerts tell you how long the presentation was viewed for and who the presentation was for. So this is another quick way with the app. You could stay in touch with your borrowers, seeing if they viewed those presentations. It's a time for you to reach out to them. Great way of keeping informed throughout your day. Next, we come to commentaries. With our commentary, you can see that Neil Trini, he posts information on that day. He posts the market update. You can see how he has all that information regarding the treasury, the bank rates, currency. And if you keep going down, he also has advice, unemployment news that came out yesterday. He has that posted as well. And then he has some more information below. So you could get a lot of data here, and you can also share that information. You can see you have that share button. And if, again, you wanted to share that information with your realtor partners and such, you could go ahead and press share and send that information to them. We also have Rate Watch with Dan. So Dan Rotlich provides us a video for updates. The last update was on Tuesday. He's traveling. If you listen to the video, he will be posting either later today or tomorrow, and he'll be back providing his information. It's great. If you go in and watch these views, you can see all the past views as well and be able to see all that commentary. He provides graphs and discusses the graphs as well as changes in the economy, such as the employment rates and things like that. So great tools to be able to have, to be able to refer to, be able to share with your partners, with your borrowers. I also want to point out we have a screen for lenders, and this is just showing how lenders are changing the rates. So if they're changing it favorably or negatively. So we have 58 lenders showing that they have favorable rates, that they are doing better, but 7 of them, their rates have turned. So just want to point that out so you can just see the reference in that market. Last one I want to go to is settings. So this is where you could go ahead and put in your settings to receive those text alerts or an email alert. So if you just go into those items, you'll be able to identify what you want to be able to receive. And shortly I'll show you where you'll be able to set the times of those alerts. So this is how you set the alerts on your mobile to be able to receive those hourly alerts, any of the alerts throughout the day, and you'll see the update schedule. And this is when you can receive those daily alerts. So you could keep informed on the hour how the mortgage-backed securities are. If you only want every couple hours or beginning and close, it's your choice here. So you'd be able to indicate exactly when you would be able to see those texts, email alerts, or both. So with that, do you have any questions on Rate Watch? You'll be able to take all the data, be able to share it with your clients through the share feature, be able to email it, text it, and just stay current on those mortgage-backed securities. So next what I want to roll into is our mobile app. And again, if you need me to come back to RateWatch, please let me know and we'll go ahead and come back and dive into this a little bit more. So now let's move over to our Mortgage Coach app. So we were just on our RateWatch app. Now we're moving over to Mortgage Coach. So with that, let's go ahead and update my Android as well. So with your Mortgage Coach app, if you have not downloaded it, please do go to your app store and do a search for Mortgage Coach and download the app. It's a free app. When borrowers get your link through an email or text, they will automatically be sent to the App Store to download the app. So it's an automatic process, and to make it easy, just get one of the Edge links on your mobile device and it'll just direct you real smoothly to that App Store. So first off, just before we go into the silhouette and log into your account, what I want to do is show you a couple items here. If you have not viewed a presentation with the mobile app, there's a sample total cost analysis with a video that you'll be able to view. It's with Joe Patur, our president of Mortgage Coach, and you'll be able to have just be able to take a look at that presentation. You can also see how if the video message, if they want to be able to watch it now or at a later time. Let's go back out to the home screen again. And with that, so that's the sample. If you want to take a view of a sample presentation with a video, right there. Want to show a history. If you've been viewing quite a few presentations, you could go ahead and open up your history and be able to find one of those presentations if you want to be able to open it without just going directly into your silhouette. So this is a quick reference below for the various presentations that you have previously opened and wanted to view. I also want to point out we are going to be releasing shortly, and if you notice, let me just go into this report real quick and come back out. You'll notice on my Android, I have an English version. This is our new release that we're going to be coming out in the fall. We have an English version, and we'll also have a Spanish version. So that we're very excited to be able to have that. It's going to be just a quick toggle. All they'll have to do is switch from English to Spanish, and when they open up that presentation, the presentation will either be in that language. So all this information will then refer to Spanish as well as all the information within these tabs. So it's going to be a great addition to Mortgage Coach app, so look forward to that. It's going to be releasing most likely within the next month. So English and Spanish version. And then next what I want to do, we have understanding of just the basic how to use the mobile app, and this is also how the borrower would use it. Next what we want to do is dive into your account through the silhouette. So follow along with me and go ahead and click on the silhouette button. And let me go ahead and log into my account. So once you've logged in once into your account, you don't have to do it again. So it will keep that information as well as your password. So at that point, just go ahead and sign into your account. And then you come to your home screen. Before we dive into the information on how to access the partner and the clients, I want to again point out in the upper right-hand corner the silhouette. So let's go there real quick, and I want to be able to show you how you'll be able to upload videos. So if you have a pre-recorded message that you want to use for follow-up, and it's best just to use a pre-recorded message for follow-up and follow-up only, because that first message you want to be connected personally with that borrower. Follow-up, it would be, go ahead and have that pre-recorded message. Just to access it, you just need to turn it on either by marking it on an Android or just sliding that switch over on an iOS. Once you've done that, it will allow you to be able to upload that video. So that's where it's at. It's in your silhouette in the upper right-hand corner to be able to turn on that feature. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our views. So let's go back. So you can see the difference looking at iPad, a little bit bigger view for you versus the mobile device. So you can see I've had 2 views today on one report. So with that, I could go into my clients and let's take a look at my last presentations. So you can see on the iPad, again, because of the size, I'm able to receive 2 columns of information. These are the last presentations that I have recently accessed, and these are the last presentations that were viewed. So you can see that I have my 2 files right here, and these are the 2 recently viewed files for me. You could go ahead and take a look at the Android. With that, what you could do is then switch your view by clicking that presentation, and you'll be able to see the views here, or you could go back to the last access files, clients. You also have a search. If you want to be able to search for a particular report, you could go ahead and do a search and narrow down that search as well. So all the same features as you have in your desktop, you'll be able to use through your mobile device. And another feature we'll be adding this fall is to be able to do input through your mobile device. So you'll be able to make those updates to any presentation. You don't have to do it directly from a desktop or a laptop. You'll be able to do it from your mobile device. So that's another great feature that Mortgage Coach is going to be releasing in the near future. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into my report for Lori. And you can see doing the same items, what I'm going to do is go into the total cost analysis on both. So when I select that, this provides you the different options that you have. We can view the report, you can add a video real quick, or you could do live reporting. The video, it will turn on. You'll be able to upload a video as well as record a video. And live reporting, what I want to do with live reporting, this is a great way when you're talking to your borrowers, a great way of driving their presentation. So to be able to show you, let me go ahead and put a borrower's presentation right behind our screen. And to do so, I'm clicking on share. Just a moment, let me move my mobile device out of the way. And let's click on that link here. So I'm going to copy. Let's bring this over here. Just one moment. Let me do a couple items. Okay, I can't seem to turn that off. Just one moment, I'm trying to turn off the iPad, it won't. Okay, so I don't know why it's not letting me click it. Just one moment, please. I want to bring up the presentation through my desktop so we'll be able to use Edge Live so you can see how you could drive the presentation for that borrower. So what I have done on the desktop, I'm going into Edge Live here, but what I want to do is copy that link, and it's not letting me copy. Just one moment. I think I'm going to have to turn off my mobiles. Let me go ahead and finish discussing the mobile device, a couple items, and then I'm going to have to turn it off. So with that, what you would be able to do, and a great way of doing this, is go ahead and take your presentation and have it on your desktop. Make sure it's the link that the borrower receives. And with that, what you could do is then have your mobile device. And when you go ahead and click on that monthly payment area, you'll be able to see how it's going to drive that presentation. You'll see at the very base, I'm going to click into the payments. When you do that, you'll notice that the desktop version is changing for you. You could click on the closing costs and you're driving that presentation. So with this, I want you to practice, either put it, if you have multiple mobile devices, click on the link on the mobile device, and then drive it with another. Drive the laptop. It's just a quick way of being able to communicate and a great way of learning just on your own. You can see I'm highlighting different fields, and all I'm doing is just tapping on those. The borrower borrower is unable to do what you're doing here with the highlights, this is only through that silhouette. So you can only access the highlighting through Edge Live through your account on the mobile. And so with that, what I'm doing is on an Android, so let's go into the monthly payment savings. So with that, you can slide on an Apple device. If you slide left or right, it will take you from graph to the numbers. What you can do is go ahead and click on more info, and then you can see how you have your data, and then you can click on graph. With the Android, I also have a back button that controls me from moving back and forth within my screens. So you could do that as well, and if I hit the back button, it took me right back to my home page. And you could do the same thing with the short terms, be able to check those more information, those details, and then bring it back. Want to point out one last thing on the summary area in the closing costs. When you go down to the base of it, you'll see the details. So you have the buttons here if you want to be able to provide the details and be able to discuss that with your borrower as well. So you can see how you can highlight those fees if they want to go into details, if you wanted to show contributions, things like that, and hold that discussion. So with that, let's go ahead, and I'm going to turn off my mobile device. If you have any questions on the mobile, please let me know, and I could go ahead and address it. Otherwise, right now, I'm going to go ahead and just turn this off. So there we go. Perfect. So now what I want to do is diving into Mortgage Coach and how to learn how to create a refinance presentation. So with that, I have one already created, but let's dive into just creating one by hand. So this way I could show you how to use the copy features to make this easy and simple. So with that, let's go to the presentation and discuss what we're going to create. So we're going to put in a current mortgage. And with the rate so low, this mortgage was taken out in April of 2015, not long ago. So with that, they had a 4.5 interest rate. I'm showing that they could get something slightly lower. We can even use 4% if that's what you want. But we could go ahead and refinance that product. They have a new principal amount, so we have that in there that we rolled over. It's not cash out, just a straight refinance. And the difference between the two, because you always want to be able to compare at least two products, so we provide them a current mortgage and one refinance product. Maybe they only qualify for one, but what you could do for your second product is show a reduction of principal. What you could do is reinvest that savings amount toward principal so they keep that same monthly payment. And then you'll be able to show the borrower how they could pay off that loan quicker than that they currently have here. So you can see that they haven't even paid down 2 years of their principal. And by refinancing, applying that additional amount toward principal, they're already under 5 years. So you can show them how to be able to do that, and that's what we're going to build today. So as we're going through it, we'll have a lot of questions I'm going to talk about for the current mortgage, and then we'll talk about going into the reinvestment strategy and how to apply that principal. I also want to point out real quick, let me clear out my highlights. When you apply principal, it does affect that tip percentage because the tip is the interest percentage over the life of the loan. And when you're paying down principal amount, you're paying less interest. And so with that additional principal over the life of the loan, you can see how much they have paid down. It's a little bit, almost 6% less in that tip percentage. So I wanted to point out that as well. So let's go ahead and clear out those highlights and dive into Edge and see how we can build this presentation. So what I wanted you to do is click on New Client, and this is how we're going to start the process off. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter a name, James Sample. Let's call her Jane Refi. How's that? And what I'm going to do here is just do basic fields just to get you through how to create a presentation. There's more with Mortgage Coach, how you can add more fields and build out, make a more robust presentation. But for now, I want to just go through quickly. If there's any questions that you want me to dive into certain areas, please let me know and I can always come back and do that for you. So I just put in the name of my borrower. Whoops, clicked on the wrong one there. For friendly name, I'm just putting a reference. So I'm just putting today's date, Training Thursday. This is a good habit to make, especially when you do the open house presentation. So want to put the street address so that way you can use the copy function and not have to enter that realtor's information or image, things like that over and over. So friendly name is just a reference name. So I filled out my basic information for my borrower. This screen, again, you could go ahead and mark what the goals are. I want to go quick, so I'm bypassing this screen. Always remember, if you're doing a purchase, mark this as purchase a new home. It removes the current mortgage screens here, so it keeps you as a purchase. Moving on, let's go to our next screen. So let's put in a property value of $250,000. I'm going to come back to this screen because it's very important, and we'll discuss the current payoff total. 95% of the time, leave this field blank, and we'll discuss in a moment the relationship of the cash to close with this field. So first, what I want to do is move to the next screen and talk about that current mortgage. So with that current mortgage, they took it out in April of 2015. At that time, the mortgage was only for $230,000, and at the time they had 4.5% interest rate, and it was just a 30-year term. And this is a great presentation if you're creating an annual mortgage review. If you have past clients that you know would benefit with these low interest rates, create an annual mortgage review, and you'd be able to provide that information. And I believe one or two calls back, we did review that annual mortgage review, and it would be posted in our archive under our help button. You can go to our coaching call archive, which it would have this call as well. So with that, so you can see how we entered the date, first payment date, original loan amount, rate, and term. With this information, we then calculate the remaining balance of the term, and you'll see at the very base the P&I payment. So sometimes you don't know this information because the borrower is not quite sure, they weren't past clients of yours, which is fine. A lot of times they'll know that P&I payment, and they might not even know that. So with it, you can always adjust the figures. So say, you know, the rate, the payment was really lower. Let's try 4.375. And you can see how the payment adjusts. So not only can you make the adjustment toward the interest rate, maybe their loan amount was actually higher, so you can adjust it there. So those are the two areas you can adjust to go ahead and find that correct P&I payment when you're not quite sure. And after you talk to the borrower and you start building that relationship and you find out these details, come back into Mortgage Coach and update it, make it an accurate presentation for them, and then what will be great is you'll have your base to start for your annual mortgage review in another year or two for this borrower. Another question that came through the support box is interest-only terms. So if they have an interest-only, say it was for 10 years, you could go ahead and put that information in there. Remember, we'll go ahead and calculate that information, that interest-only payment. We know from 2015 to 2025 it will be IO, and this will be the dollar amount. The term is a full 360, which we know 10 years will be interest-only. So always put the full term and then the interest-only term if you're working with interest-only products. And lastly, two other items I want to discuss is the remaining balance. Sometimes borrowers have paid down that principal. Not a problem. You can always override that information and put what that outstanding balance, the current balance is at that time. We also have an auto update, and what this will do is update that remaining balance the next time you come into this presentation. So we'll update that balance based on that first payment date. So if this is a working file that is not going to be closing anytime soon, you might want to click on that auto update balance so that remaining balance always gets updated from month to month. So now I want to go back to the other screen. We're going to talk about that payoff balance. When we create our presentations for that cash to close, we use the remaining balance. If we move back a screen, if you fill out any figure in this current total payoff field, we'll use this figure as the cash to close. I want to point that out because a lot of support tickets, when their cash to close doesn't come out correctly, it's because they have a figure here. Just remove it and leave it empty. Usually this is used when people are providing a presentation now and they know it's not going to close for 2 or 3 more months. They're taking into account the additional principal being paid, and that's why they use this field. So it's not used maybe 5% of the time. So I wanted to really cover that one just so it doesn't hold you up when you create that presentation. Just leave it empty and move on. So now we're going to come to our products. I'm just going to put an estimated hazard insurance and taxes. And again, if you know those figures, just open up that percentage and put that dollar amount in there so you can be as accurate as possible to that current mortgage. If they have mortgage insurance, again, you have that percentage or a dollar amount field. So let's say they have 85, and this is just a conventional product. So that's entering our information for a refinance. So we covered the current mortgage, also how to change your payment and IO term, the current payoff field, and then the monthly costs. So now we're going to directly go to the product itself. As we go through the affordability, you can have tax benefits on your presentation, information about your savings balance, rollover into reinvestment. There's other items that you could do with these screens, but again, I want to just show you how you can get through creating a refinance as quick as possible. So we're just doing a rate and term refinance. So we're just going to be reducing the rate. I'm just going to put my label as refi. Just remember when you put in a title, keep it to 12 characters. I've been seeing a lot of people just put option 1, option 2, option 3, and that's good too. So just keep your title to 12. First thing I want to do is switch it to yes as a refinance. You'll notice the descriptions, the labels of these fields changed slightly, and it pulled over that data from that current mortgage. So it's a really quick way of being able to just go from no to yes and put that information in. It's going to be a straight refi. We're not going to do any cash out, so we're going to keep the current balance the way it is. And let's go ahead and put in an interest rate as well as a term. So now that we're done with this first screen, we're going to advance. We're going to go ahead and talk about fees. So if you have any questions on fees, fee templates, things like that, let me know and we'll go ahead and cover those. Prepaid interest, I'm going to put an estimate of 15 days. This is a great tool when you're using Edge Live. I was talking with a loan officer, and when the borrower is asking why the cost is so high, this is a great way of changing it. If they know that they're going to be maybe closing closer toward the end of the month, you could change that and reflect it from 15 to 3 and be able to show them how much lower that cost would be. Remember with Edge Live, when you make that adjustment in the system, it will update that presentation as soon as you advance the screen left or right. That triggers the save, and then their presentation is updated. Points, if you have points or rebates, I've been seeing a lot of presentations just showing the rate and then a rate above and below par. So 3 products together. If you're using the rebate, just want to point out you can put in a negative amount here and it will go ahead and offset the fees there. So you have points and you can put it as a negative if it's going to be that rebate amount. Moving up to closing costs. If you're on an enterprise account, you might have fee templates already built for you. They're rather quick and easy to create if you don't have them. A great way of creating a fee template, just get your fee worksheet. It has the fee descriptions, dollar amounts, and if the fee's an APR. Quick way of creating it, and once you've created a fee template once, always save it as a template so you can use it over and over. With these two, it's always great anytime you update a fee template for any particular reason, maybe it's a new product that you haven't used before, save it as a template, because every time you start building these, your arsenal is going to get bigger and you're going to go faster through these presentations. Once you're done with the fees, you just apply it to the loan, and you can see now you have fees grayed out, or fields grayed out here. It's because we total the fees and we apply those totals and then we close it out. So if you ever want to make an update, always just go back into your closing cost details. You can make an adjustment to the dollar amount, or you can even remove a fee if you want to, just by removing it through a trash can. You can add a fee through the two buttons at the base, add fee, which you'll have a drop down, so you have an underwriting fee. You could just add that rather easily here. And lastly, if you don't see your descriptions, you can always add custom fees, any label you want. You can have the percentage field go off the loan amount or property sales price, or default it as an APR fee. So you can customize those labels as well. I'm going to apply it to the loan. And now let's move to our monthly costs. So in our monthly costs, we're going to go ahead and open up these fields. Let's put in that estimate. Whoops. And they actually got a little bit lower MI premium, MI factor here, so I went ahead and entered that. And they'll have 2 months and 4 months reserves. So that was quite simple, creating a refinance, just a basic product. And now I'm going to show you how you can copy this over and be able to add another product for reinvestment. So if I click on add another product, refi with reinvestment, what I'm going to do, you can go ahead and mark it yes as refi, but I'm just actually going to use the information I just created. I clicked on that copy from button, and I'm going to select refi product, press OK, and all that data just carried over for me. So I don't have to create this presentation a second time. What's great, or this product, what's nice is if you're doing down payments as your presentation option, so 5%, 10%, 20% down, you create the first one, put all the fees and monthly costs, then the next two products just use that copy from button, copy, make the adjustment to the down payment and rate if necessary. So it's a really nice feature to use. Just use that copy from. If you have the integrations for Optimal Blue or any other integrations, again, you could bring one product down and then do a copy and create multiple products, especially with that down payment. So everything's exact same, all my fees carried over, and my monthly costs. So I'm completed with my two products, but now I need to make that one with reinvestment different. And the way to do it is in the analysis summary, we're going to go into the reinvestment strategy. With that, you'll have the reinvestment matrix, and you'll see the fields for the reduction of principal. So what I'm going to do is put that savings of $134.30. I'm applying it directly toward principal. So I'm taking the same payment I'm currently paying, and I'm applying the difference toward principal. So you can see how the freedom point has been cut down. Also, the number of months you have to pay MI has also been reduced. So we're going to come back into this screen in just a moment. We're going to talk about reinvesting mortgage insurance. So I'm going to press OK. Now, if I hover my mouse over presentation, then preview, I'm going to click on the date, click on preview, and now we can see our presentation we had just built. So we have our current, our refi, and the refi with reinvestment. You could see the reinvestment line, and that's what I'm going to highlight. And how I'm highlighting is just left clicking on the field. You can see the freedom point was 28.5. With the refinance, it's back at 30, but reinvesting that savings toward principal will actually accelerate that payment, and you would have it paid off less than 25 years. If you go into that more info button, we'll have that tab. You can see that same matrix, and you want to highlight those fields here as well. Now let's talk about MI. So you can see how we have the MI is still on the loan. What happens when it drops? So when it drops, what we could do again is reinvest that money back toward principal. So to show you how to do that, let's go back to Mortgage Coach Edge. Oops. Okay, let's go back into my file, and we're going to go to the analysis screen. And when you bring the reinvestment strategy up, you have a reduction payment line. So if you double click on that box, you'll see at the very bottom when your mortgage insurance drops and how much that is. So I'm going to add an additional line. I'm highlighting the number 2 and I'm typing in 89, and I'm going to reinvest that 146.46. By reinvesting that, I now have a new freedom point showing them if they go ahead and reinvest that same amount of money that they're paying out, what their freedom point is. Let's do the same with the first product, so it's all apples to apples. 89, 150, remember our factor was slightly lower. Press OK. And let's go ahead and adjust the reinvestment one as well. This is at 67, a little bit lower, remember, because principal is being paid down. And now we have to add the 150 and the 134, and that will be the new total. So I'm just going to go ahead and round it. So you have that amount, and then you press OK. So you can see how the differences in each of those reinvestment products. And now let's take a look at our graph here. And you can see how now that the display reflects custom. So to see those figures, if you go into the more info button, you can see now you have buttons to access. So if you click on it, you can show them that month 89, you're applying the mortgage insurance toward principal. Looks like I updated the wrong product. Let's see this one. 284. We need to update this one. Oh yeah, we just reinvested the mortgage insurance, not the savings. So, and there you have it. So this one is just reinvesting the mortgage insurance, and then the product reinvesting the mortgage insurance as well as the savings. So that's how you'll be able to provide a current mortgage, provide a refi, and then a refi with reinvestment. You also remember you can go ahead and adjust it and reinvest that mortgage insurance as well. So with that, if there's any questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's call. Any kind of questions at all, even if it's not on a different presentation, go ahead and put it in the question area. I can address it. And while I'm waiting for those questions, I want to just close with, remember there's the help button here. And that help button will take you to our support center. Besides video assets and our search engine, you also have the monthly calendar of events, as well as our coaching call archive. So if you click on the coaching call archive, it will take you to all our Tuesday coaching calls as well as our Thursday trainings. And you can see this annual mortgage review right here that we had covered last week. So with that, I will stick around. If you have any questions, I'll answer those. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you on next Thursday's training. If you have a particular presentation you want to see built or any question specific, please email us at support@mortgagecoach.com, and we'll go ahead and show that on next week's training. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Okay, I'll go ahead and close out the call. I don't see any questions. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.